And we have some really distinguished visitors today. This is going to be an amazing podcast. This is the culmination. I Somebody told me that I've been broadcasting for 9 years. It's a blur to me. I don't even know. I know part of my broadcast. Part of the time I was doing it, I used to do two videos a day. Now I do at least one live video a day, but it just went by very quickly. But the whole intent and my whole desire really was to finally was to be able to help in the transition from the old world into the great awakening. And I feel like this is a culmination of all the years I've spent broadcasting is in this video. And in the video I did yesterday with Karen and before with Sandy. But this video, we especially want to reach out to veterans because we feel, I mean, I know in Kingman, I pass so many veterans that are they need a few dollars, and it's like, why aren't they like heroes? Why is this going on? But when you understand the dynamics of the government, of the corporate government, of the corporation, that we are leaving now and we're coming into the republic. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm very happy to have two members of the military. I'm going to call you by your first name just because I'm not able to comprehend, I may not have the right memory or whatever it is, but Bill and Sandy are distinguished veterans, and they have come to grace us with their presence today to explain the essence of the republic, of re-inhabiting the republic. The people on my channel, my viewers, all know about the bad guys. They know about the corporation. They know about Jesara. They know all these things. We've been doing this for years. Just we've been kind of keeping each other alive in a sense, just to keep everyone feeling okay about the situation. We always end on a positive note. But this is the culmination in my mind of all those years of broadcasting. Finally, it makes sense because by linking up with the formation of the re-inhabiting of the republic, this is tied into Gesara law. This is tied into the white hat military. This is why all the digital soldiers that answered the call, I think it was Michael Flynn or whatever, General Flynn, we all answered the call and we kept things going. We kept this place open, really, for you to come and explain to us, and explain to the my I call them my family. I mean, we've been through so much together, all kinds of changes and changes in the news and changes in the government, all these things, the vaccine holocaust, and all this abuse that we've suffered together. And now we're coming into the end game, and that is the formation of the republic. So I'll let you guys explain, but let me just encapsulate the general idea. In order to activate Gesara law, there has to be an interim government in place so that the white hats, the military, who has been in power all this time, in this kind of governance, the continuity of governance structure. But the military can't just step in directly, but they will kind of hand the football off to the republic, the interim republic, and give us 120 days to elect the members of the real government, which will be, according to Jesara, 10% of the size it is now. But we need this interim government, and this is a call to action to all digital warriors and all people across all party lines, all religions, all countries, to come to the aid. We the people have to come together now, and Sandy and Bill and Karen, who are more immersed in this, will explain how this process is going to go forward. And I'm going to put on the website address just so that everyone will have the opportunity from the get-go of this broadcast. Let's see if I can find it here, to join the republicforusa.org. When the republic is populated to a certain degree, about 50,000 people per state, and all the office positions are filled, then the military can announce that we have 120 days for the formation of Jesara. So everyone should be very excited that we don't have to sit here and complain that it's been too long, or why is this happening and why is it happening. This is a call to action to everyone who's hearing this broadcast. Please share the broadcast. I get shadow banned on all the channels. So share the broadcast to anyone who you think would be interested in joining the Republic, the real government of the United States. So, with that said, let me give it over to my distinguished guests.
Who wants to go first?
I could just do a little intro if you like. I think the focus of today's conversation was really surrounding our veterans. They are truly our national treasure, and they have not always received the respect and appreciation that they deserve. And we want them to know that in this republic, they are. And if they are looking for a way to continue their service to their country, there are plenty of opportunities in this republic to do so. So that's what we're here to express and discuss today and share further information about. So, Sandy or Bill, you can take it from there.
Ladies first.
All right. Well, let's just give a little history of the Republic. But Karen is spot on. This is a podcast dedicated especially to veterans and to reach out to them to get them to take some action. Many of you are probably very disillusioned by everything that's happened. And we're here to tell you that now is the time to set that aside or channel that into actually doing something, taking some action. So the Republic was restarted. Of course, we know our founding fathers gave us a republic. That's what the Constitution did, if we can keep it, according to Ben Franklin. So we lost it, essentially. We went ahead and lost it. It wasn't us, just you and me, but 1860s, 1870s time frame, it's gone, but only abandoned. And so white hats during JFK's time, they called themselves the Army of Virginia at the time. We call them white hats today. I see Bill is wearing his. So maybe tan hat. I can't tell.
Yeah, well, I'll get some more light and shine some more light on it.
Close enough. Yep, exactly. So they approached our group before it became the Republic. It was a very active patriot group called Restore America Plan, essentially teaching Constitution classes, how to legally and lawfully avoid taxes because they're all voluntary, etc. So the short story is they said, can you restore the Republic? And our answer was, well, we're darn well going to try. 2 years later, we did. And that was a grassroots effort starting at the county level, which is the we the people. That is the government, people. I know that you're like, I don't know what to do about the government. Well, you got to learn because you're it. Otherwise, we're going to have the same problem we're having right now. So we the people got together at the county level, which then created the state level, which then created the national level. And we've been holding the fort since November of 2010. So a little over 15 years now. We just had our anniversary last November. And we are the authentic government. This is it. This is the actual republic. So for all you veterans out there that are disillusioned, my country never did anything for me. Why should I do anything for my country? Any of those kinds of thoughts. Now's the time to set that aside and to say, you know what? Now is what God has prepared me for. All the things that have happened to you in your life prepared you for right now. We are all here right now for a reason. What does that mean? Well, that means that we need you to come forward to follow your oath to the Constitution, which never ends. Whether you retire or separate or whatever, your oath is still in force. So, how do you help your country? Well, we've got seats that need to be filled in all the states. There's something that's vacant, and that's whether it's the county positions, the state, or the national. And we need you to step up. So that's what this podcast is doing. I'm a retired lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and my oath never ended, and I had to just take a new one because I am an official in the Republic. So with that, I'll hand it off to Bill.
Okay, thanks, Sandy. That was very good. And just to all your listeners that didn't have an opportunity to listen to Karen yesterday on your podcast, she did an exceptional job on explaining the process and all the nuances that go on in the Republic. So hats off to you, Karen, on that regard. Yeah, we all have a story. We're all connected. And that's why I think we're all here. I think we're all grounded first and foremost on our faith in God, because nothing happens without God's input. That's where my faith comes from. Let me give a little bleep about my background. I know Sandy has done this in the past about where she's come from and her experiences. I grew up I'm 73. I grew up in a military family and traveled to Germany and Japan when I was still with my parents. My dad retired as a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. And I went to CSU after I left home and did 5-year stint there at the university and got my commission there along with my degree through the ROTC program. And then I proceeded to spend 23 plus, like 8 months on active duty, active Air Force, active guard in reserve. I was in areas of civil engineering, management engineering, information management, communications, career fields. So I had some experience in all of those areas. And then after I retired in 2000, I went and built a couple houses because my degree in college was in construction management and I had enjoyed it. I've got a couple folks that needed some houses and I knew how to do it. So I helped them out and did that. But I got a calling in my soul, I guess, to get into the teaching profession and at the elementary, or more so in the middle school, the high school level. And so I began substitute teaching. That led me to go ahead and get my teaching certificate and stuff, so I could actually teach classes at the high school or the middle school level. And I did that. And I spent 10 years doing that in the technical education area, which was also known as vocational. So the old shop class and stuff. And I finished with the middle schoolers, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, teaching them about a lot of different things. And then I retired from that in 2016 and cheered when the president was elected the first time. I've always been seeking truth. And because that's the foundation, it's tied with the foundation. Your foundation's in God and God is your truth. Then the truth and everything else you need to be seeking and building your house upon. And I use a lot of different analogies and construction and other kind of things to try to get across the ideas to folks, some of which you might recognize here as I draw a little more. But I found my faith wondering what the heck is going on in this country. You know, we all receive our information from some sources. And we were raised to believe, at least I was through most of it, well, you go to the mainstream media in the evening and you get your news. Or you go to the paper and get your news. Well, the mainstream media had grown to my attention. I couldn't trust or rely on it. It was only for a short segment, and that's all you ever heard. So you had to really search out stuff. So as I began my exploration and as I was retired, I had more time on my hands. And the whole media business was getting going on the social media. So I started exploring podcasts and things of that nature. And just as we, gradually found you, Eli, I found And We Know and a number of others, X22, you name it, and started listening to what they had to present and listen to who their contacts that they had what they were sharing with everybody. I also in early 17 or late 17 found about the Q movement and the Q posts. And so I started following that, and I started listening to that. And it made a lot of sense to me. Now, the thing is, if you're a lifelong seeker, and we're all lifelong learners, you should be seeking the truth and exposing the lies. Because the lies go right along with it, because the folks that tied to will Satan and wants to lie, they want to hide the truth. They want to bury it. They want to divide. They want to conquer. It's all about power, control, greed, you name it. And so it just got going, and I said, hey, this sounds really good to me. It resonates with me. And as Karen's aware of in our conversation previously, we're all energy. We're all frequency-based light forms. We're just here for a temporary, well, trip to hell almost, I guess you could look at it sometimes, in this body. This is our vessel. Whether you like the look of you at this age or not, we used to look younger, which was nice. But hopefully we're a lot wiser now than we ever were when we were younger. Hopefully we've acquired some wisdom through experience. And that's what I think those of you who are here listening today and who might watch it further down the road after today, you get to be experienced in certain areas throughout your life. And you don't beat your head up against the wall trying to do the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different outcome. You try to figure it out so you can move forward and then offer your ideas and thoughts as opportunities come along, so that others won't have to necessarily follow the same hard lessons you did. Now, some of us are hard learners, and they're going to beat their head up against the wall regardless. And that's okay too. Our timing for every one of us is different. That's what makes us so good. We're a blend, literally. And so that's kind of how I came to the movement in 24. Chasing different podcasts, came about this. I said, oh, what's this? And I looked at it. It instantly resonated with me. And as Sandy said earlier about action, the most simplistic action that you can take right now, for all those of you who are listening, and for those whom you'll forward this podcast to, is to take a moment of your valuable time, visit the website, read what's on the website, different things, visit some of the videos and things, and then check your six with your soul. Does it resonate with you, what you're hearing? Check the outside and say, well, yeah, I see what what we're talking about today is going on out there. And then sign up as an elector. The most basic step, commit to be an elector. Okay. And then if you're so moved after you've learned some more, we encourage you to step forward and take a position. Find out where the holes are that need to be filled and do it. I did that just recently. In November, I was vetted as the county clerk for Weld County in Colorado, and there have others. Do a lot of us know anything about the job position? No, not very much. Are we learning? Yes, because we're lifelong learners. Do we care? We wouldn't be here if we didn't care. You know, the only reason evil succeeds and all the stuff that goes with it is because good people choose to do nothing. They think someone else, their neighbor, will do it. You can't count on that, folks. So you got to get and start looking in the mirror and check out your character. Ask the question, who are you? What do you believe in? What are your values and morals? What are you willing to die for? Well, everybody can say, well, I'm willing to die for my family, my friends. Well, you should also be very fortunate to believe that you live in the greatest country that was ever created, and God had a hand in that.
Big hand.
A big hand. That's right. We have a covenant. Okay? And that's the only reason we're still here and what we're doing. And this is a roller coaster. Life's full of hurdles, and goodness knows the American people have had a lot of hurdles. We haven't done it all right. We've made a lot of mistakes along the way. The question is, as a lifelong learner, and you're trying to continue to learn, can you focus? Can you find the truth in things? And are you willing to stand up for the truth and take your part in the bigger picture of what's coming? And I'll stop there.
Agreed. God works with the willing, right? It's not about having all of the answers. And as far as our veterans are concerned, they've already given their life in sacrifice, right? And in doing so, possess some of the most seasoned skills, right? And all those lessons they learned along the way. I'm just hearing a little bit about the ones that my son is learning in his first weeks of boot camp. Hardest thing he's ever done thus far. And I think, oh, you just wait. But he's embracing it. But that's the kind of, mindset and experience that our veterans have, many. And hopefully, you're still embracing that. And if you're out there and, retired and have some extra time on your hand and you're looking for ways to continue, with that service, the Republic needs you. The Republic wants you. The Republic appreciates you and values you, and will definitely find a way to, for you to use those skills and that patriotic heart that you still have for a cause to bring forward your Republic and take back your country. Like Sandy said, that oath that was taken, it never expires. So we're calling upon that to reactivate that and use that for the sake of your Republic. So
I want to emphasize something too, and that is the white hats are waiting for us, guys and gals.
It's huge. We've been
They're waiting for us.
This is huge.
They want us to do something. So here's the thing. Let me see if I can hit a nerve here. You've been praying. However you pray. You're saying, God, tell me what I need to do to save this country. How can I help? What can I do? I'm telling you right now, this is it. Because we were all led here. All of us. It can be a whole host of different ways that God will give you that message. But you're wondering, what can you do? You're just one person, right? And you might be vaccine injured like I am from all my service in the military. I don't even know if I have the right health, you might say to yourself. We're all in that boat. We're being poisoned from the sky and the water and the food and everything else. But here in the Republic, we talk about these kinds of things and we help each other. We know the truth and we share the truth. Not only that, but we stand for getting rid of all of that, all the poisons. They don't work in a Republic because the people decide what's going on. And if they say no, it's no.
Informed consent.
Hello.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing that there's several of you out there that might have stood up against the COVID mandates and you might have said, nope, I'm out. Thank you. Have a nice day. Or you were forced out, or they lied about you in order to kick you out, like me. And you're like, I don't want to have anything to do with that anymore. Guess what? That was your training to come here to this Republic, because God was telling you something. He says, I need you to be on a different path. And right now we're telling you what that path could be. We need people who are, first of all, very patriotic. Veterans, you fall right into that category. Most of you joined because you were patriotic. So what do you do with all that? Patriotism and energy and action and education and training, all that training. Sometimes it feels like it's being wasted, right? Because you're not doing the same thing you were doing in the military. Well, guess what we need here in the Republic? Management skills, organization skills, time management skills, people skills.
Perseverance, grit.
These are the things you already taught in the military. And these are the things that we want you to bring to the Republic and to help us to do what we're doing. Bill and I are just examples of many veterans that are here in the Republic working. And we know that there's many of you out there. This is the place for you to go. This is what you've been praying for. This is what I was praying for. I didn't know it. I said, God, when I was being fired from the Air Force Academy for standing up against the COVID mandates. I was a civilian professor at the time. And as I'm being fired, and I knew what they were doing because I'm watching them lie about me, trying to paint me as a domestic terrorist. It was really fun. And I said, God, I don't know what you want me to do, God. Show me what you want me to do next. And he did. And that's why I'm here. So you all have to figure it out if this is where you need to be. But as Bill said, all you have to do is sign up on the website and start learning about us. And you may change your mind. You might say, nah, that ain't for me. And that's fine. God only calls certain people to his army. Go read the Bible, Gideon's army. That'll tell you exactly what's going on here right now. 2 things you all need to do, whether you sign up or not. Take a Constitution 101 course anywhere. Hillsdale College has a great one. There's several of them out there. And reread the Bible, because our entire law form is based on that book. Everything that we do in a republic is based on that Bible. So you get the Constitution, which is the outcome, and the Bible, which is the basis, and a couple other books I could recommend. And you will at least have the basic structure to become the county assembly. You, the people. Because that's really where the government is and what it's all about. And we've gotten way far away from that because we've all been deprogrammed, tricked, poisoned. So let's not do that. Let's all help each other to put this country back on track. I yield.
A couple of...
Well, John Adams, go ahead.
Are you sure? A couple of items that Sandy was, when she mentioned about the site and different information. If you visit the site, this is one of the books, the 2-book series. Actually, they have 3 that you can get. That's the first, and this is the second. You get so much information from this. It'll blow your mind. And so much of which, as we were growing up, we weren't taught. If we were, it was the skeletal bones of the things they wanted us to hear, but it wasn't the meat and the flesh and the soul of it.
Right.
And so therein, what Sandy was talking about, the level of manipulation, demonic, I'll call it that, manipulation, is beyond your ability to fathom the number of stars in the sky, literally. It is that massive. Mm-hmm. That's one of the first things once you start exploring these things. Like any good explorer, our founding folks that came here, they started west. They didn't know what was going on, and they had it really tough. They didn't know what was beyond the next tree, the next hill. Well, the same thing goes in our history. The recording of that history is that history's been manipulated. Which suggests that everybody needs to question what they've read, what they've been taught, what they've been led, and I'll say that led to believe through manipulative type of behavior setting protocols and things that are out there. And we know how you can become mesmerized, how Hollywood and the media can drip stuff to you, where you then become complacent. You think that's the norm. That's the norm they want you to have. That's the way they want to focus you on. And we that have spent time in the military, we might call that in an activity to engagement, but we're going to use a little deception here. We're going to set up and have them look this way and try to go this way and believe this is what's going to be happening. And subtly, we're doing something else and we're somewhere else. Okay. That's where you've got to take the initiative. You've got to get I think we all reach a point in our lives at some point. You reach the bottom and you reach out and says, well, who else you've got to call on? Who are you going to ask for help? Well, again, I go back to your faith, because we all arrived here in the same manner. We just don't remember where we came from. And I think that's intentional. So the veil is still on us. Some of us, the veil has been lifted a little more than others, and therein lie people who have special gifts. If you recognize those folks that have those special gifts. You can either be a focused learner, as I mentioned before, or you're going to be one that flippers like a little bird to go around in here. And depending upon your focus, depends upon the depth of your learning. I would challenge everyone. You have interests. Governance has been put to us as, wow, this is one of those dirty things. You don't want to get messed up in politics. That's a bad word, it's dirty. They do, and you never get anything done, blah, blah. And so people don't pay attention to it. Well, that's part of the intention, to get you not to go into it. Highlight the bad stuff. The good stuff is you have to be involved, and you have to commit, and you have to take action to have conversations and discussions that might be a little spirited, if you will. And you might have to disagree, and you might have to take some abuse because someone thinks this or that. I just say for everybody, there's going to be certain levels. Get a spine. You got to learn how to stand up. For all the young men out there, growing up and becoming a man, you got to stand up to it. But you got to know what you're standing up to. So you got to research. You got to question. Question. And again, ask God for guidance. Before I yield, I'm gonna read something. This is from And We Know. He has a podcast. He's a retired Marine, personal affairs. One of the best podcasts out there, regardless. Over 500,000 people come to visit his podcast, and I've been watching from the start. And you'll know what his saying is. And it says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. I yield.
Something I want to bring up right now is, what is the tactical level, boots on the ground aspects of this republic? What do we stand for? Well, we are only the interim temporary officials until the first election, which is what our job is. That's our primary mission. The plan is that the white hats, the good guy military, are eventually going to remove all of the corporate entities that have been pretending to be our government ever since at least 1871. We haven't had an actual government for 150 years, period. And so when we stood up this republic, we are the actual government, but we have no jurisdiction, no authority, definitely no military, but that's not our job. When we are ready to be put into the game, just sitting on the sidelines right now, the white hats will let us know. They'll say it's time. Hopefully they'll give us at least 24-hour notice and not just an hour notice.
At least.
But who knows, what's going to happen. We've been pretty much on call this whole time because we never knew, was the corporation going to do something so heinous that we were going to need to be put in early? It's possible. But we knew at the time that it would be now, about this window of opportunity when things would occur. So that first election is really what we're all about. And that'll be the first, republic election since 1860, technically. So once that happens, all of us step aside. I want no part of this. We've got folks that have been in it since 2008. So 17 years, 18, going on 18 years now. And folks that are from even earlier because they were in the Restore America plan even years before that. 20 years probably for a lot of them. They're tired. And we need folks, especially the younger folks, to step forward. So We hold that first election and we're out. What does this republic stand for? No political parties, no income tax at all, not on people, corporations only. And right now they're making you think that you as a living man or living woman is a corporation. That's how they can go after you for all this stuff.
Yeah.
No property
Okay.
tax. No property tax. The only taxes allowed will be sales tax, which will be a little higher. It'll probably be like 10, 12%, but not on food and essentials and things like that. It'll be on initial purchases of things. If you
New
resell-
items.
Yeah,
right?
if you resell something, no tax. No political parties. So none of this uniparty BS that's going on right now with are you Republican or Democrat? It's like
Bipartisan.
there's no
Bipartisan.
there's no such thing. They're all following orders anyways because it's all like a movie. It's all like a show. We know the truth. 9/11 was a scam. We know the truth. The moon landings were a scam. And we can go on and on. I'm sure I'm relating to a lot of the folks that are listening to this because you've known something's been very wrong for a very long time. And I'm not telling you anything that's super shocking, other than the fact to say that all these things you've been praying about, what do I do to save my country? I'm telling you, we've already done the hard work. How do you save the republic? We already did. All we need to do is to join and to help and to fill these positions and to do the work at the county level. That's all we're asking.
Right.
And it's not rocket science. We're going to help you along the way. We've got education process and videos and whatever. And of course, we help each other. We mentor each other. So if you're wondering where your tribe is, where's your family? This is it. This is what you've been waiting for. And we're just waiting for you to step forward. I yield.
Absolutely. Eli, did you have a comment or a question in all of that?
I'm just so honored to be here. It's just an amazing experience to hang out with y'all. But I've been hammering this message for many years that we need to take responsibility for our own life, and we can't wait to be saved. In my opinion, I know there are a lot of patriots out there that are very discouraged because they tend to gravitate towards podcasters that are very negative, and this is how a podcaster gets a big audience, by spreading negativity. It's very simple. But at some point we can't continue to blame others for our situation. We're all waiting for crypto to go up. Silver went up. We're all struggling. I mean, I am. We're all struggling financially. I lost my job. Also, I was a public school teacher, and I said I'm not getting vaxxed. They said goodbye, and it was like my email disappeared. I called the union, and they said, "Well, we don't even have you in our records." I mean, I was just erased, and I've been erased from YouTube countless times. I've lost, a lot of channels. I've been shadow banned, but I know this is the right thing to do, and it doesn't bother me that much. It does bother me, but it doesn't bother me that much because this is the fight we need to make. We need to assert ourselves as sovereign people, as sovereign humans, and take charge of our own lives. So we stress, that you should be buying a little silver, you should be taking care of your health, you should be moving forward in your life, imagining a new life. But this is way beyond what I've been talking about for many years. This is an opportunity to really actualize, to do something that the white hats. I mean, I've been waiting. I thought years ago that somebody was going to get on my stream and say, "I'm a white hat. I want to help you." It's like, but that never happened. It didn't discourage me. But now we are directly hearing from the white hats that This is part of the process, that we must inhabit the republic, that we must take charge on a local level. I've joined in Mojave County. We just had our first meeting. Karen was gracious enough to explain how to do it. There's templates. It's not a complex thing, but there have to be bodies in place. There have to be souls that take charge and take responsibility.
Yep, the living man and woman.
Right. We're not corporations like in our birth certificate. They wanted to make us basically dead corporations. So we're like nautical, we were born through the birth canal but this nonsense, this kind of mumbo jumbo, satanic ridiculousness is over with the Republic. The Republic it's quiet. It's not, we're not coming here to say, I want to be elected president of the world. This is not an ego trip. It's just people
No.
reaching people. No one's going to tap you on the back and say, hey man, it's such an amazing, it happens a little bit. I get people thanking me and they say that I helped sustain them through some of these dark times. I really appreciate that. But that's the only reward that I'm really interested in. And if we get together, if we don't, I don't even want to think about what would happen if we don't. But I don't think that's possible, because this is a divinely inspired republic that I've been speaking about this the last couple of days. I was an Orthodox in the Orthodox community for many years, and one of my teachers, a rabbi, said to me, just out of the blue, one day when he was teaching, he said, "The Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, these are divinely inspired documents. The republic is the will give us the ability to live divine lives, to live without that layer of bureaucracy that is impossible to fathom. You need your license, you're driving too fast, you're doing this too, that sort of nitpicking nanny state will be gone. You won't be spending your life on hold and filling out forms. You'll be alive. In my own personal journey, I left New York to come to my partner had eczema, so we wanted to go to a better climate. We were on the coast in New York City, and we were watching the chemtrails and the fogs rolling in off the ships. I mean, they were just poisoning, and the immigrants coming in plane after plane after plane. As soon as darkness fell, they would start shipping in the immigrants. We were witness to all of this, and we said, let's get out of here. And so we came to Arizona, and we said, okay, let's buy a little house somewhere. And we couldn't even think about affording a house. So we bought a chunk of land. And out here, I don't have inspectors. I don't have anybody telling me you should do this or you should do that, or that's the wrong way to do it. If I make a mistake, it's on me. And I just want to I want to share with the world that I'm happy to just wake up in the morning, and I don't even think about, like, what do I have to do today? It's so clear. It's just like the right tool ends up in my hand. I have a pickaxe and I'm digging a trench, or I'm putting up a post. It's just like there's no thought and there's no doubt in the real world, in the divine world. And that's where we're heading with this republic. And I'm just so honored to have a small part in broadcasting and collecting all the souls that have been waiting to hear this. The white hats are waiting for us, man. We want Jesara. We don't want to pay taxes. We want all the 6,000 new patents. We want free energy and all this other stuff. I was just looking for chats. I apologize, by the way. The chats didn't show up. I've had this problem for the last day or two. We have 164 people now, but this broadcast, hopefully, please, 192. Okay, but is that on all channels or just? We don't know. Anyway, there's a bunch of folks. But please share this video, because we're shadow banned. We don't get the big exposure. We're not telling you like the world's coming to an end and you'll give us a lot of clicks. We're just like straight up people on this channel. If you're new to the awakening, and certainly if you're a veteran who's struggling, come to our channel. We do a live broadcast every day, and we're just here to console each other and to share information about the Great Awakening, not the death of civilization. This is unstoppable because it's connected to the divine, and nothing can stop what's coming. It's just,
If I can,
yep,
if I can
please.
add to your point there, Eli, about our founding documents being divinely inspired, absolutely, because those men had a relationship with their creator. And then also in focus, that we're talking about our veterans, our very first president was a veteran.
Mhm.
He fought in the Revolutionary War and led that and became our first president. So the honor in being a veteran is there, and it has never ended for our republic. And there are millions of them out there that I know are just, don't know what to do or looking for a way to do something because they know things aren't right. And like Sandy said, there are many out there too that are still illusioned, by this corporate, fraudulent government that we've been living under for so long. And it's hard to accept that maybe they served for, a purpose that was manipulated by it. I can only imagine what that might feel like. But here's a chance to make it right. Here's a chance to turn that all around and say, no, you don't get to win. We win. Because our military is we the people. Those are our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers, our sons, our daughters. That is we the people. They just have a special skill set and job to do. So like I mentioned yesterday, our military and we the people, we're coming together and meeting in the middle, and that's our job. So our veterans out there, please, reach out to us, go to the website, join, find out what you can do in your state, and we'll be happy to work with you. So thank you, Eli.
Yeah, thank you all for being here. And anytime you want to come back, if you want to make this a regular broadcast, whatever I can do to help, please let me know. And again, I'll put up the website address. Join the Republic. There are three little like lines on the top of the form, and you can join. I have trouble with this. My partner's younger than me, so she was able to explain what I had to do. But yeah, just, and I'm very honored to be here with you all. And anytime you want to come back and share some more information, just please let me know. So I decided that I'm gonna. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
I'd like to I'd like to offer maybe one other thing is that for all those that are listening and will be listening, and it's always nice to see the numbers grow on that. If you do the basic step and join as and become an elector of your respective state, that's the first thing that you can do. The second thing you can do is to do some thinking about yourself and where you want to go, because you may very well be called by God to fill one of those elected positions to be in the future. The more you know, because of the more that you're learning, the more you will grow and the more comfortable you will get with it through practice. Practice does make perfect. Repetition will sharpen your tools and your skill sets. And I encourage you all to recognize the danger that we have been living in for so long. Recognize that the level of corruption and what I say across the board, the military itself has not been free and clear of the corruption also, because Eisenhower warned us of the military-industrial complex. So in any component of our society, whether it's medicine, whether it's the politics, whether it's the state doing all its stuff, as well as the military, as well as our spiritual homes, the churches, money is the root of all evil. Okay? And if you follow the money, and that's what's happening right now up in Minneapolis area, St. Paul, and in California and stuff, the money is going to cause them some real severe problems because they got some real answers to answer to. So just step out of your, if you feel comfortable right now or you're a little on the edge, there's the edge there. Just know that you have a safety net. Step off the edge and believe. And maybe somewhere in the future here, you're going to be a very important person, and you're going to have a large impact on the direction of your future. And I yield.
I'll close with one comment, and that is, we only get one chance, people. This is it. So if you've been waiting and waiting for, what sounds like the right thing to come along, there's nothing else to come along. This is the plan. This has been the plan since the 1960s.
We are the plan.
We are the plan. That's right. We hear this all the time. So there's no more waiting. There's only time to get involved, to become active, to take action. So it's as simple as going to the website, registering. You'll have a nice conversation with a very nice patriot. That's hopefully your governor. We have a few states that don't have governors right now, but we're working on it. And then you decide what you want to do after that, after you learn. Read those books, the Re-Inhabited books by Jean and David Hertler, and learn what your true American history really was, not what we were taught in schools, and most of us weren't taught anything in schools. And so there's your big gap in your education and your knowledge. Constitution course, read your Bible. All these things are going to bring you back up to speed and make you feel a lot more confident about being a part of your government, because you are the government, the thing that we haven't been told our entire lives. So join us. Last chance to save the country. And we look forward to getting to know you. I yield.
Karen, you have anything to add, or you want?
No, not additionally, other than I 100% agree with everything that Sandy just said. This is our opportunity. And like you said, Eli, our call to action. So we need you, and we can do this together. We just have to get up, sign up, and show up. Thank you.
All right. So hopefully, again, thank you so much for honoring me with your presence. And whenever you want to do this again, or you in any way, form that I can help, just let me know. So may the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force. May source be with you. May you realize that you are the creative source. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.